Hello everyone, it's us, we're here, and we're problem-free. Problematic-free?
Problematic. We're tech problem-free.
We are Hack the Dino, this is our gaming cast, where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games. I am Spider-Ben. Spider-Ben does whatever a spider can, spins a web any size, gets it right in your eye, Ben Rosenthal. And I am
stings.
Joined by the enabler and Xbox's largest fan. I mean largest, he's actually a 12-foot tall giant person, Floppy Starrick.
It's true. I am 12 foot tall.
See, we look similar in height now, but when people are actually quite surprised to find that when they meet you in real life and we stand side by side, you're actually a Goliath-sized individual. It's
true.
all forced perspective.
Long legs and a short body.
You also need to move over so we're in the middle of the shot.
There we go.
Because I'm also a director of cinema photography.
Yeah.
Do you know who else is a director of cinema photography?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes, correct. And also Anto, who's here. Hi, Anto.
Hey,
Hello.
Anto.
How is everyone?
We're good, but your green screen's gone to Hades again.
Hey, look, if the green screen's the only thing that breaks tonight, I'm just going to be a happy guy.
It'd be good for a good time.
So, in case you are just tuning in for the first time or have not followed our adventures over the past couple of weeks, we've been having some PC problems. We're slowly getting them out while Anto's in the middle of a rave.
Green screen's back.
We promise you it'll all be working. It'll all be good. It'll be a good time. And we won't have to tear our hair out.
I promise nothing.
Especially tearing that hair out. Look how luscious it is.
I promise nothing other than the fact that I'm going to try to keep things working.
Floppy,
Yes, mate.
what have you been playing recently?
Well, I had some time at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got the old COVIDs.
The old ick was that a
Yeah, I had the spicy cough.
Oof.
So I sat at home. Mm-hmm. I played some more Horizon Forbidden West.
Nice.
I'm, I think, almost 80 hours in now.
How big is that game? Like,
Well, about that size.
okay, and in the
Scope of
Scope?
I don't. You know what? I haven't looked. Mm-hmm. I'm 80 hours in. I think I'm most of the way through the main story. I've uncovered most of the map.
you going to platinum it?
No, I don't platinum things on purpose.
Good boy.
Except unless it's a Lego game.
Oh, really?
Or
you platinum Lego by accident, didn't you?
No, Batman Telltale I did by accident.
Right.
Because you just had to finish it.
Easy platinum.
And a couple others. But yeah, so I've been playing the bejesus out of Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And it has not got old, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. Every side quest, every new sort of beastie that I encounter, every pelican I shoot with an arrow and harvest its flesh.
What about the owls?
Owls, I do like to I take out the owls.
Nice.
Underwater is amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually look that clear, which is weird.
I always thought to myself, like, when they can get water, hair, teeth, and eyes looking natural, that's when the uncanny valley will be gone.
I think they got water. They got water down pretty good.
Honestly, I think they got water with Wave Race 64, just personally.
I mean, incorrect, but okay.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Look at that Wave Race 64 had some awesome looking water from my memory.
From your memory.
30 odd years ago.
But so yeah, I've played a whole heck of that. I've also been playing some Kirby. Mm-hmm. Kirby's a lot of fun. Very cool. It's a nice little balance from sort of the intense Horizon combat and whatnot. And then
They go camping a lot?
And then I've just been playing some
Because you said intense. Get it?
Yes.
Because not intense as in a measure of intensity, but more of a joke in that you were camping, and when you go camping, primarily you go intense, which is a fabric type thing that you erect with sticks and muscle.
Yep.
So Kirby's a good game.
Sorry, guys and girls. And everyone in between. Yeah, Kirby's there. Kirby's a lot of fun. It's nice. I've never actually bought a Kirby game at release before.
How's Kirby?
Kirby's great fun. I love all the little... I don't know if that's a thing that's happened in other Kirby games.
No.
Where you can inhale a car and come that, and there's, you can inhale like a set of lockers and become lockers, or stairs in other parts of the game. But yeah, it's nice, it's light, it's fun, it's pretty easy because I think I'm playing on story mode.
I have heard that there's like 2 difficulty levels. There's like viewer mode and hard mode, but even hard mode is like ridiculously easy to.
And I picked up on Tuesday Lego Star Wars.
Yes. Now, tell us about this. You played any of it?
I played only a little bit because I'm still want to finish Kirby and Horizon before I get too far into something else.
Right.
But I can't not. I'm a big Lego fan. Don't know if you see. It has inspired the topic of tonight's topic.
I like there's no swearing things. Really
it's really. I'm trying not to swear, and it's almost taken away about 2/3 of my vocabulary. Crumbs.
Oh, fudge puckets.
Yeah, biscuits.
I said puckets. What's a pucket?
I don't know. It's not the other word. But yeah, no. Star Wars Lego is really, really good. It looks really, really pretty. They've done an amazing job on, especially the backgrounds. The backgrounds of the Lego games have tended to be quite plain and kind of boring.
Yep.
They've really gone to town on these on the backgrounds of these things. I have one irk though already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started in playing it in chronological order. So I started at Phantom Menace because you can pick whichever one.
Yep. Which trilogy you go through first?
Yeah. You can pick. Which game you want to? You can start with.
Oh, really?
I think you can start with anything. I just chose Phantom Menace. They've changed some of the voice actors to do lines that they could have just taken out of the films.
Yeah, but then you have to pay more licensing, and it gets harder. And
but it's Disney and it's
It's
Lego,
true.
and they've got bajillion dollars. I thought it was just really odd to hear Qui-Gon not sound like Qui-Gon, but saying the lines from the movie,
right?
Which I thought was weird. Other than that,
But they've got heaps of cool Easter eggs because I know these games are really renowned for Easter eggs. But
huge.
Like the voice actress who does Leia in A New Hope starts off with a British accent, and then as the games go on, she just goes back to an American one because that's what happened in the films.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. I've been watching some reviews. Look, I have never been a huge proponent of Lego games because
everyone has a flaw.
Even for me, yeah, just the one. Even for me, it's it's just like boring because there's no death. Like you can't die.
No, you can't. But that's why one of the reasons I like them.
But
They've got really good writing.
Yeah, just recently, like they've always been funny.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed like the mumbling that they did and
Yeah.
the reactions, which I know you can toggle between that and the voice acting in this game as well. But just watching this, and I'm starting to get back into Star Wars type stuff again. Like I just watched the prequel trilogy over the past couple of weeks. I'm watching the Clone Wars animated series again.
I can't watch Clone Wars.
No?
No, I don't like the animation.
Yeah. Well, once you get over it, it's
Personally, I think that's the best bit of Star Wars is the Clone Wars saga.
Incorrect, but okay.
the character building in the Clone Wars
So
saga
good.
is really, really
Oh,
good.
I'm not knocking the writing. I just can't watch the animation. I don't like it.
And like just sort of sitting there, I realize how badly they messed up a really good story with the prequels. Like the build up they had, I sat down with Jazz the other night after we watched it and sort of just went through what they were trying to accomplish. And because the directing and the writing was very subpar, it didn't explain. Oh, this isn't a video. Anyway, Star Wars, I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, I'm going to buy this, I think.
It's really good, man. So you can play through all 9 main films.
Yep.
And then depending on which edition you get, so I got the deluxe edition, which came with a little minifigure of Luke with the blue milk.
Oh, you got the physical edition?
Yeah.
I looked on the store. It's only $10 more for the deluxe one.
Yeah, I got the physical one that had the minifigure in it.
Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah, and the deluxe one has 7 different DLC packs for like character packs from Solo and Mandalorian.
Are they still
and Rogue
available?
One.
The
Not
deluxe
physical; they were pre-sold out. But
dang.
yeah, but yeah, it's so much fun. I love the Lego games. I played pretty much all of them, and we'll be talking about them more in depth later.
Right. Well, I have been continuing my shiny hunt in Pokemon Arceus.
I don't know what that meant. Shiny, just shiny.
Just shiny. Shiny! Yeah, it's still super fun. Still love the game loop. I got a shiny Rowlet the other day, so that was fun.
What's the coolest shiny you've got?
I don't know, because I don't really hunt shinies now, because my hunting, the way I used to hunt shinies is gone. But I've got a Scyther, shiny Scyther. I got a shiny Luxio. The Rowlet's
what they
pretty
are.
cool.
That's an owl, right?
Yeah,
I know that
I
one.
got the owl. So yeah, they're pretty cool. And I got Chrono Cross, and I've been playing Chrono Cross for the first time ever. Now, you can see in front of me a sealed copy of Chrono Cross for the PlayStation 1.
Someone could be enjoying that.
This is NTSC version. And, well, I've got a chip PlayStation 2, so I could play it anyway. But I'd never played Chrono Cross, and I'm sure people who watch this show a lot know how much of a fan I am of Chrono Trigger. It's one of my favourite games of all time.
Next, you'll be saying you like karate.
Yeah, well. Chrono Cross, so far, so freaking good. It plays a lot, almost identically to Chrono Trigger, obviously with new characters and everything. The music, I believe they've completely redone the orchestral music, and it is absolutely stunning. From what I've read of Chrono Cross, one of the main selling points of the game was the music.
Are we looking at the new version or the original version?
That's the new version.
Okay.
You know, typical Square Enix, their remaster is basically you just up-resing skins and making them like a little bit more pleasurable to look at, which is fine.
Smooth them out a bit.
You know, it's still very much 90s play controls. You have to hold a button to run, or if you walk, it's like slow as all heck.
They didn't build in like an alternate.
Oh yeah, well even the Apple version of Chrono Trigger had an auto run on it. Yeah, but no, they haven't done that. But I don't mind. It brings me back to Chrono Trigger. And then when you win a battle, like a random encounter, because it's an RPG, it has the Chrono Sting, the Chrono Victory.
What's Chrono Sting?
The ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dum-ba-dum.
So that's from Chrono Trigger?
That's from Chrono Trigger. And when I heard that after I won a battle, I flipped out. It was freaking amazing. Cool. I couldn't... it just brought back a flood of memories. So I've played probably an hour of that so far. I didn't realise that Kid is Australian, or supposed to be Australian.
Is that a character, or just are you saying the kid or a kid?
No, one of the characters is called Kid.
Do they have an Australian accent in the game?
Well, no, there's no voice acting.
Oh,
it's a 90s RPG.
How do you know they're Australian?
Because they say, bloody bonza, mate.
I say that all the time.
What the bloody hell are you doing there, mate? Yeah. So that's a little annoying and makes me not like that character as much. But
Bonza.
There is a physical edition that you can get. It was announced last week. I purchased one, and I have purchased the digital version so I could play it as well. I'm a collector, man. As if I'm... Look. I got that sealed, so I'll get the remaster and keep that sealed as well. It'll be a fun time for everyone.
You can lend it to me and I'll play it.
No, you can... No.
All games should be open, ladies and gentlemen.
No, they shouldn't. Anto?
Everyone seen Toy Story?
Hey,
Sealed
Anto.
things get depressed.
Hello.
Hi. What have you been using your digits with?
Using my digits with,
Yep.
or...
No, with. What have you been combining with?
I'm not sure I like that. I've been not actually playing a huge amount. I've been watching Horizon Zero Dawn. Coda's been playing that fairly... Yes. I say fairly frequently. I think she's put like 50 hours into it in 4 days.
What?
Something like that.
Do you not sleep? Ever?
She's been staying up till 5 because she hasn't been able to put it down. Let's put it that way.
They're still young.
20s.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. I'm not young.
You're not. You are 30. Well, you're 31.
Anyway, yeah. So I finished Elden Ring. Platinumed it 100%. The game is done.
I cannot believe you platinumed Elden Ring. You
don't need to
psychopath.
play it anymore.
Crazy man.
Other than that, I got back into Smash Bros. Been playing a bit of that every now and again. But yeah, mostly I've just been enjoying the story of Horizon. It's been really fun.
I tried playing Smash Bros again the other day.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I forget who I am on the screen. It's terrible. It's so fast.
Yeah,
I think
that's good.
The only thing I want them to change about Smash now is now that Kirby has been updated in the most recent game, give him Kirby mode. Let him do that. That'd be so fun.
Even if it's just his smash and he turns in and just rams everyone off the screen for a couple of times, like runs over them and then parks on their head and spins the wheels so their head goes...
Turns into the giant set of lockers and just falls on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or like a vending machine that starts shooting cans out at people. That'd be great.
I'd play that.
That's pretty much what I've been up to. And, you know, in the time that I've been awake and not working and not falling asleep due to exhaustion, I've been trying to get the stream looking as good as I can.
And we are getting there slowly. And to see our journey of getting there slowly, head on over to hackthedino.com where you can hear us via podcast. And if you're doing that, please take a second to leave a review. You can leave a 5-star review on Spotify now. You can also leave a review and some nice little comments on iTunes or other Spotify podcast apps. Yeah. Pretend I didn't do that error then. That'd be great.
It's all right. We'll edit it later.
But you can also see and subscribe to our YouTube channel where all these VODs go up. And I also put little snippets as the shorts, or head on over to our Instagram or our TikTok account or all those other Instagram. I did it again. All those other video social media sites and join in the fun of getting more people to see our stuff, because we like that to happen. Please. Floppy, how would you like to beg people?
I don't beg, mate. I just earn it. Good hair.
That's true. You are very hair entitled. Funny fact about Floppy's hair.
Flaunt it. Yeah, mate.
It's not actually. It's not that. He hasn't got a natural poof that goes up the top like that. He actually has nostrils up there like a brachiosaur. That's right, Floppy is a brachiosaur, which is why we're called Hack the Dino. We had to hack his mainframe so he could use his DNA-altering abilities to be a human, and so the government wouldn't come and get him and realise that he's the last living dinosaur. It's not Denver, it's Floppy, the last brachiosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more.
I wonder why the people that watch us are like generally only people in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many people pick up that you're doing a bit here.
There was a cartoon in the 90s called Denver the Last Dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more.
Anyway,
time for a new segment. We are quickly going to have a new segment called News Bites, where I go through some of the headlines that have come out throughout the week, but we don't really have a lot to say, but we're covering the news.
I like that you've been really clever and spelt bites, B-Y-T-E-S, but nobody there knows that.
Yeah, it's for us, so we know. We're punny guys. All right, here we go. We ready? Ba-bum. Metroid Dread has had an update with some new modes added. You can now get Boss Rush, Survival Rush, and Dread Rush, and it's available now. Floppy, you going to play Dread Rush?
No.
No?
No, because it makes it too hard. But is it going to get you to play it? Because you've been wanting to play it for a while.
I will play it once I finish Chrono Cross and probably Lego Star Wars.
so effectively, you're never going to play it because you're always playing something else.
Probably.
You should play it.
Max Payne 1 and 2 are being remastered for consoles and PC. Anto, what do you think about that?
I'm pretty excited for it. I think Max Payne 1 especially is peak, like, film noir silliness as far as video games are concerned. Like, it's gritty and edgy and awful, but gameplay-wise, it's one of the first games to implement bullet time really, really well. I want to see what they make his face look like after the remaster, because he looks butt ugly now.
He'll look like a brachiosaur.
Maybe he'll look like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, but like melted.
A new Tomb Raider game was announced during the what am I thinking? What's the Fortnite engine called? Unreal Engine 5 little thingy.
That's really cool, but why are you just announcing it? Wait until you've got something.
No, they announced it with a GIF. So we all know GIFs are the new save the date.
I read somewhere that the guy that invented the GIF, who died recently, pronounced it GIF.
Yes, he did. But he was wrong, which is why
wasn't.
he's dead now. Return to Monkey Island was announced, which is a direct sequel to Monkey Island 2. Now, you're both big click and point adventure. Quickly, what are your thoughts?
I'm super keen. I will play this. I was literally talking about the Sierra Adventure point and click games just before the show.
Oh, God, was he ever? Jesus Christ.
I made him watch stuff.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not awful. It's amazing.
Anto, what do you think?
Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. What are we talking about?
We are talking about oranges and how much vitamin C you can possibly have in a day.
Are you keen for Monkey Island 2?
Oh, very. Curse of Monkey Island is probably one of the best point-and-click adventure games ever made, outside of the original Broken Sword. I'm keen for it.
Mm. And finally, Trek to Yomi had an announcement of its release, which will be on May 5th. I cannot wait. I will be playing this probably before I play Star Wars, I think. This might be a combo game that I play between.
You're never playing Metroid.
I'll get to Metroid eventually. It's the first Nintendo party property
2073.
Game. Probably.
2073.
When they remaster it for whatever the current console is and he buys it digitally and physically.
Speaking of 2073, that's when Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out now. In news that nobody saw coming.
Except this guy.
Yeah, that's correct. Except for me. I called this. I called this all the time and every day. I said it was going to happen. No, I didn't. Floppy called it. But as soon as I woke up and saw this video and saw that goddamn black background, I went, oh no. Anuma's there with a nice haircut, looking very schmick.
Background of shame.
And he's apologized. Like, oh no! So we're not getting Breath of the Wild until next year, maybe. Who knows? There has been a lot of talk about if this has been delayed because they need more time, or if it's been delayed because they are going to launch a new console. And Zelda games lately have been the launch game of a new console. What are our bets? What do you think, Floppy?
I would say absolutely not.
No?
No, not a chance. I think they're on too much of a winning streak with the Switch. They're not going to release another console.
I 100% agree with you, which doesn't happen a lot. I'll go into
I
why.
know, right?
But Anto, what do you think?
I think you're both wrong. And the reason I think you're both wrong is because they're not going to release a new console. It's going to be an updated version of a Switch.
Right.
It's just going to
It's
be...
still a new console, though.
It's going to have the same architecture, probably, just be slightly more powerful. Or it'll be like a dock attachment or something.
I think we'll get the fabled Switch Pro?
I think we will.
The one that Nintendo's never ever said is happening?
Because, and this is my logic, like you said, they're still making money on the Switch.
Yeah.
So moving away from that family of systems, as they call it,
would be
a bad idea.
They made
would
a
be
mistake with the
suicide.
Wii. With the Wii and the Wii U, your marketing, they tried to keep the name in order to get the people to come over, but it cost them money. Like, one of the reasons
dearly.
the Wii U didn't do well was because people went, no, you've got a Wii at home.
Yeah,
Like,
don't need it.
It wasn't telegraphed that this was a more powerful new system that will play new games that you can't play on your Wii, and they lost that support base for it, which is why it failed miserably.
Yeah, plus I just want them to announce it and be like, hey guys, nostalgia time, we're going to call it the Super Nintendo Switch.
No, you've been on about this all the bloody time. I mean, I agree with you.
I don't think it's been delayed for that. I think it's delayed because they find things they want to put in there that's... I legit think it's just because they're tweaking the game. They keep finding things that they want to
Can you
put
imagine
into
the
it.
pressure that's on them right now?
Oh,
With this,
I don't
seminal...
envy it.
Like, this game was groundbreaking. It, brought in an updated new genre. It was basically Zelda 1, but in 3D, which is a huge Herculean effort. And to follow that up and be just as good...
I had a conversation with somebody the other day. It's not as groundbreaking as everyone... I don't think it's as groundbreaking as everyone thinks it is. I think it was an amazing achievement. And I think it took the world by storm. But if you go back and have a look at it, I don't think they did anything that different to anything else.
Name another game that's completely open world and you can go straight to the boss. You can just do whatever you want.
I have no idea.
See, like that... I think this is the very first game of its kind to fully be able to do that. To just go...
You reckon?
Yep, go for it.
What about Elden Rings and stuff like... What about Elden Ring?
Elden Ring kind of requires you to do a little bit of stuff.
And Elden Ring came out
No,
after.
I know. I was just curious now.
Without,
because I hadn't thought of that part, all right?
Yeah,
I was thinking of
you have to do
combat
certain
system,
things.
upgrades, cooking, all that stuff. It didn't seem...
Oh, no, that's all like and like. But the big thing about this was obviously the climb everything, go everywhere. They say no invisible walls, but there's invisible walls.
Yeah, of course. There's always invisible. There's just not as many.
No, and the fact that it was literally go anywhere, do anything, play your own game. Like, every single person, when it first came out, had a different journey. Like, they all went in different... Because the Grand Plateau is right in the middle of the map.
So Minecraft.
Yes and no.
Animal Crossing.
Not Animal Crossing. There's no combat in Animal Crossing if you're
But
playing.
yeah,
There is.
because
You
you
beat
play
your
your own
villagers
game,
with
right?
a fishing net.
Well, yeah. Yes and no. It's an action RPG. So, it was the very first game to actually do that.
I'm not knocking it as a game. I actually think it's a great game.
It's a fantastic game.
Yeah. Not as good as Rise and Zero Dawn, but,
I personally don't think a new console is going to get announced.
No.
Because they would need to announce it sort of
Now.
in the very near future or now in order to start to build the hype. Because without hype, you don't have anyone to buy the
to buy
console.
your console, no.
I've got the opinion that it's probably if it happens, and this is obviously not a guarantee. If it happens, it'll be in the next major direct we get, and it'll be the last thing they mention.
Yep. Maybe. I'd say they'd have their own direct like they did with the Switch when that was revealed. The other reason I think it's not happening is the chip shortage is still happening.
Yeah,
So
that's
obviously
true.
there's ways to get around that, but they would have to be in production now, and we would have heard something. Like
Yeah.
we have with every other console, we would have heard something. We even did with the OLED. We heard that something was underway because they were starting to build something in factories. And the fact that that isn't happening tells me that there's nothing coming out anytime soon. Which is kind of weird because up until the Wii U, Nintendo was on a 5-year next-gen cycle. And the Switch is already 6 years old.
Is it?
2017.
I thought it was in its 5th year now.
Yeah, it's 5th year now.
5th year now?
2017 it came out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, still, we should be expecting a new console if they're going to follow
Well,
that. But they broke it with the Wii U, obviously, because the Wii U didn't...
I don't think that was a good... Like, they could... I've lost words. 5 years is not long enough, I don't think, to be able to give a console its whole lifespan.
Well, I mean, the problem with Nintendo is that they are, let's face it, they're a generation behind with power and whatnot.
Are they? Because they're not fighting that battle, though. I don't
They're
think
not
they
fighting-
are behind. They're not.
But people
competing with
still want faster games.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that you can't have PlayStation 5 and Xbox with these super high detail games, 4K streaming gameplay, and Nintendo still doing, Wii graphics. Like there's been Vaseline put on the lens. Like you need
They're
to
a lot
step
better
up.
than that, though.
Yeah, I know, but you do need to step up, and with that comes added processing power. Obviously, Nintendo will always make a profit with their game systems. That's their rule. Xbox and Sony.
Sell them at a loss?
Yep, sell them at a loss, make it up in the software. That's how
I was
they
telling that
operate.
to someone the other day. They didn't believe me.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, why would I lie?
Anto?
I think you've kind of got a point. Like, both of you are arguing good points. Like Floppy said, they're not fighting the same fight as the other companies, and that's true.
You still have to keep in step, though.
I feel like the bigger the gap gets as Sony and Microsoft and these other companies start pumping out more powerful hardware, like faster architecture, better loading times, bigger games, like the wider that gap gets, the more Nintendo's going to have to fall into step kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because eventually, especially with the way gaming has sort of evolved as a culture, now we've got more than just the diehard fans who don't sort of care about the difference in power and systems.
Yep.
You've got a lot more people who are buying one because their kids want it, or their partner wants one, or they're just interested in it themselves, even on a casual level. And eventually it's going to get to the point where these people who are investing, who aren't super dedicated, are saying, well, why am I spending X amount of money on this when I could spend $50 more and get this?
Yeah.
So
I disagree, because I think the people that would buy the Switch anyway don't care about the graphics and stuff like that. They don't care about the extra $50.
Yes.
And if you do, most people that I am aware of would have an Xbox or a PlayStation and a Switch.
that's kind of where I fall into it.
Switch
Like,
is the second console. So you either...
Diehard
hazard a
Nintendo.
guess. I would hazard a guess you either have an Xbox or a PlayStation, and then the Switch is the secondary, and that's where Nintendo's happy to be because they get more sales that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
It's
how I
easy.
went.
They're not competing with one to be
Yeah.
the other console.
And Nintendo have the IP that they can do that because they have our nostalgia, they have our childhood memories, and our souls, and
So
they're just devouring them as we
I
slowly go on.
disagree a little bit in the fact that I think they can fall behind when it comes to that power and aspect, because that's not it's not the race they're playing.
Yeah. All right. No, it's a good point.
So I think they're in a sweet spot where they don't have to compete against another console.
Speaking of competing,
Yeah.
PlayStation Project Spartacus was finally revealed to everyone a couple of weeks back. Now, what they didn't reveal, obviously, was how it's going to be here in Australia.
Oh, I think they have, haven't they?
Well,
You've got the deluxe version.
yeah,
not
yeah.
the
They
premium?
did it on the stream, I should say.
Oh, okay.
So I've got some details here. So we don't get the streaming side of it. We don't have PlayStation Now here. So we're not going to get the streaming side of it, which means no PlayStation 3 games. Apparently, I've not looked into it enough. Maybe one of you may know a little bit better than I. But the PlayStation 3 apparently ran games a lot differently than the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, so the architecture they used for that thing is incredibly difficult to work with. So developers had a really hard time making games for the PS3 that would also work on things like the 360 and stuff like that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if Anto knows what the tech parts of it were, but it was really hard to develop for, and that's why we haven't had, say, a backwards compatible one. And it's also why we don't see too many things, emulating and things like that, because it was just really hard to work with, and it was so different to everything else.
Yeah, Townsy just said the PS3 was a bit hard to make games for.
Yeah.
I don't know the super tech specs of how it works.
There's something with the particles, or
It's the cell processor.
cell
they
processor.
used
That's what it was. Yeah.
Was
The
so
particles.
complicated but advanced for the time
Yeah.
that tuning things to it from like a basic x86 like Windows-based processor, which is what 360 was using, was so hard. The weird thing about the whole lack of PS3 backwards compatibility thing is like the hacking and modding community have now finally got a PlayStation 3 emulator running, which does like 99% of PS3 games.
Yeah, how long it took them to get a Nintendo 64 emulator working? It took like 20
It took a while,
years.
and it does take a long time. But it seems weird that, like a community of self-taught or, fan people, I guess, they've been able to build an emulator that works from scratch with, no internal knowledge. But Sony, with all the access to the development documents and design documents, can't do it.
Oh, I don't think it's that they can't. I think it's just not worth their time.
Yeah, cost,
and money.
effort,
Yeah.
cost, reward.
One of the biggest things I've seen when it comes to like backwards compatibility and stuff is everyone screams that they want it, and then you look at the percentage of people that actually
And
use
they don't
it.
do it. Jim Ryan said exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not a viable option for them. Like, that's why the original PS3s were pulled. The ones that had a PlayStation 2 in them.
Inside, well, they also overheated like a.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Floppy got given one of those. We had it traded into... Well, not traded in. We couldn't trade it.
Sorry,
I was given. I came
it was
into
just given to you.
possession of one from
Possession
a
of,
place.
yes. There we go.
Speaking of being in possession of things,
Yes.
AU, or Australia, as we like to not abbreviate it to, gets different tiers from the rest of the world. Well, not just Australia, other non-streaming companies. I think New Zealand's in that as well.
I don't know where the rest of the world is.
So we get essential. So there's different tiers that we get. We get Essentials, which is what PlayStation Plus is now. We get 2 monthly games to download as opposed to the 4. Plus Extra, which is 400 games from PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, but no same-day releases. PlayStation have said that they're not doing that, which, fair enough.
No, I probably wouldn't if I was them.
And
need to.
PlayStation Deluxe instead of whatever that other one is, which
Premium.
is everything but PlayStation Now and PlayStation 3 and I think PSP games. We don't get PSP
No, we
games?
do get
No, we're
PSP.
getting PSP
Yeah, we get
stuff.
We just don't get the PS3.
Right, okay. So, my question is, firstly, is it worth it? With Essentials remaining the same, $11.95 a month Australian or $79 a year. The other two categories remain unknown for Australia at the moment, but based on US prices, we're looking at Plus Extra being $134 a year or $20 a month.
I think it is, especially if that's the way you want to go. I don't think that's a too much of a price to be able to get the things that you're after. I did want to address one thing. I think it's really clever that they haven't just done a copy of Game Pass.
Yeah, they couldn't.
If they had done a copy of Game Pass and tried to do the exact same thing, I think it would have been terrible for them. I think it would have been really bad marketing. I think everyone would have jumped on that and crossed them out real quick. So I like that they're filling that gap with a product that is similar but different enough too.
Yep.
Does that make sense? And it works for their brand of stuff.
And I think, does it work out slightly cheaper than Game Pass on a yearly level?
I think so. So what Game Pass if you go for Ultimate for like 3 months is
$15.95 Australian.
no Ultimate is like 30 something.
Oh, is
Isn't
it?
it? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Ultimate's more
Because
expensive
that's
than the
Xbox
basic
Live,
one.
Gold, and Game Pass together.
Right. I don't know.
But yeah, I think it still works out a little bit cheaper.
But the other question being, would you go back and play those games? Like we just had a discussion that not a lot of those old games are played by people, and we still don't know what those games are going to be. Like we don't know what the back catalogue is, unlike Nintendo, who have just a plethora of retro games that people would love to... Well, you assume would love to play. They've got their own online service.
So I am one of those people that do play older games. I enjoy them, whether it be for nostalgia reasons or ones I just missed when I was playing because I didn't have them or didn't have the time. I do want to go back and play some of those games. I am a little bit miffed that I can't... Not miffed. I'm a little bit disappointed I won't be able to get PS3 stuff, but I have a PS3 and I have PS3 games, so I can still do that.
Anto, are you going to get it?
Depending on what's on it, yes.
That's the big thing.
That's the
Depending
big
what's
thing.
on it.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that I do want to go back and play that, obtaining now, like physical copies of and the hardware to play them on is quite expensive. I'd really like to play, Dino Crisis, Parasite Eve 1 and 2,
You're an
Suikoden
RPG boy.
2.
Yeah,
I'm an RPG guy, so like a lot of the stuff I want that's retro is very expensive now. So
like
if
that
they
$5 game that I got.
yeah,
It's for $400.
if they put,
You got to stop doing that.
you got to
Never.
stop rubbing that in, man.
I just loved seeing the little stab of pain in his eye.
That's not so bad. That's like pissed off at this now. It's too much. We leave it now. We've done it. We put a pin in it now.
But yeah, depending on what's on it, yes. If, especially PSP-wise, they put things like Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core on there, the prequel game, and a bunch of other like hard hitters like Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff, absolutely. But if it's just going to be, sports titles and things like Lone Soldier, which is a really bad third-person shooter, no.
So what games would you like to see on there? Just give us three games off the top of your head that you think are necessary for this PlayStation Plus tier.
Necessary or that I want personally?
Well, I think it necessary for you. So yeah,
necessary for me. Legend of Dragoon, Suikoden 2, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yep, good picks, especially Castlevania. One of the Kojima games I've never played.
Kojima game? That wasn't a Kojima game.
Which one was the one Kojima did? I thought Symphony of the Night was his. Pretty sure.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Ben,
Have a look.
what do you think should be on there? What would you want on there?
I would like, well, take a guess. Metal Gear Solid.
So you can already get that. You can already get that off PlayStation Store.
All of them.
Okay.
So Metal Gear Solid 4 particularly.
What about? Oh, do you reckon they wouldn't be able to do the MSX stuff? Would they?
No, because that's maybe like they had brought out that
They had
trilogy.
so I've got the trilogy,
and you
the
could you had a download code where
I've
you could
got it on
download
that. So maybe you could.
Maybe you could. I'd also want to see Chrono Trigger for PlayStation 1, which was the first time that we saw it with the Akira Toriyama cutscenes. Sort of the updated version came with Final Fantasy X. And I also want to see... Oh, yeah, the original Battlefronts. Those games were great for the PS2.
Yeah, they were PS2, yeah.
I used to play them so much. Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, the original
Pretty
ones.
sure you can already get them on the store. I might be wrong.
Oh, see, I didn't check before I
I
wrote
think
this.
some of the older Star Wars games are on PS4 backwards compatibility.
Right.
So they might work on PS5. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so that was my thing that I was going to get. Because I put in a comment saying it does sound a bit weird, but I think that they need to worry less about quality, because that quality stuff you can already get, and I think you need to just get quantity. And so
They're going to have 400 games on there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's double what Game Pass has, I think.
But I mean, you're going to sit there like you do on Netflix, and you're going to scroll through. Oh yeah, I'll play that.
Yeah,
oh,
but you
I'll
know
add
what
that
you
to my
do?
list.
You'll
I'll add that
find
to my list.
stuff, instead of playing the stuff that you've already played and that you already know you like, you'll find stuff you don't like, or you don't know.
But how many people do that? I'd actually like to know that. That's an interesting question.
That's
many?
That's what I would do. I would go through there and find stuff that I'd either heard of but never seen.
Yeah, see, that's where we're different, because I would go through and go, yeah, I want to play that again. Yeah, I want to play that again. Yeah, I want to play that again. I don't think I'd actually sit down and play something I haven't played, unless it was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And Anto, what have you found?
I think you got confused between Hideo Kojima and Ayami Kojima, who works alongside Igarashi-san,
His evil
the
twin.
developer.
No, I swear.
But I may be
Hideo
wrong. So, yeah. Did Kojima work on Castlevania?
He worked on one of them, I'm sure.
He
of it.
did.
This is good quality
he advised
podcasting. We've got a
on Lords of Shadow,
Google
the
off.
3D one on PS3 and 360.
You're having to do, please select all the images with boats thing right now.
I'm doing a capture thing.
Isn't it funny now that robots, machines, want us to prove that we're not machines?
Computers.
Computers. Okay, so he was an advisory role in Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, he did some advising work on the more recent 3D ones, but not Symphony of the Night for sure.
Well, I
There'd
guess
be
I don't
far
have to chase down that very expensive game then.
There'd be far more nude people in Symphony of the Night if he worked on it.
Speaking of far new what? Floppy, time for your thing.
Yeah, mate. So, as I said at the top of the show, I picked up Star Wars Lego. Mentioned that I'm a big Lego I'm a big Lego fan. I have a whole bunch of
Floppy
Lego.
is a big Lego. Little do you know that underneath that hair and his nostril,
Two little circles that you can attach other parts of.
inside those little circles is a whole community of little Lego people just having a fun time and building their constructions. Floppy, tell us about your constructions.
All right. So I decided that I'm just ignoring what you said. Decided that I was going to put together my list. So this is my list.
The correct list. This is the official Hack the Dino list.
Everyone will disagree with part of it or all of it.
No, you're all wrong. This is the stamp of approval.
My top 10 Lego games in descending order from 10.
From 10. So
From
number
10.
1 being the best, number 10 being
Number
playable.
10, the 10th best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I started playing Lego games back on PS2. I think I played my first one on. And then I played some older ones, played some newer ones. I used to play them with my kids, and my kids decided that's not cool anymore, and I played them on my own. And now I play with my younger kids again. It's a cycle.
Do you know how hard, like Parker still hasn't played Pokemon Arceus, and it's fucking killing me. I'm going to ground her.
You're going to ground her until she plays a game with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Lego. I love building Lego. I love everything to do with Lego. It's the best. So, my top 10 Lego games. Coming in at number 10 is Lego Worlds. Now, have you guys ever played Lego Worlds?
No, I have not.
So this is essentially Minecraft, but with Lego.
That's what I was going to say.
So imagine Minecraft, but all the bits are smaller, and you got more of them. So it came out in 2017 for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. You can build Lego constructions in a 3D procedurally generated world, and I believe it doesn't end.
Is it just a sandbox, or is there a storyline to it?
There's a sandbox, and it's like Minecraft. I never play it on creative.
Oh, okay, so there's no like survival mode or anything like that.
You collect objects. You can get rewarded with studs that are in-game currency that you can use to buy other things that you can build with. You can build using objects you've encountered, or use pre-built structures as well that they have, if you don't want to go there. Or you can go into the brick-by-brick editor and sort of like design your own structures and all that sort of stuff. And you can see landscaping tools and whatnot that's in there.
So you could go brick by brick and like build some classic Lego sets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so I've got my
100%.
pirate island sitting there.
You could build the pirate island.
I could build the pirate island, live on it.
Yes.
Holy shit, I need this game.
Yeah, dude. It's amazing that it didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do when it came out. But I think Minecraft is just a little more accessible because this one's so much more detailed. There's so much more you can do with it.
Right. So it's a bit overwhelming.
It can be, yeah. Like, I also don't get too deep into it. It's a nice little thing to pop on every now and again. I like using the pre-built stuff.
Can you make a working Game Boy inside it?
Don't know. Never tried. Possibly. It was also supported by 2 DLC packs after launch that gave you a classic space packs. So I'll make like Benny. and a Monsters one, which we can see there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Lego Worlds. It's one of the Lego games no one really thinks of.
Do you know, just change the subject very, very quickly.
Yeah.
The Mario Brothers Lego that came out
Yes.
sucks.
No, it doesn't.
I don't like it.
You don't have to.
How dare they? Me, a lifelong fan.
I think it's really cool. You know when you get the little Mario and you put him on different Lego plates, he tells what colour it is and it comes up on his chest as whether it's grass or
before
fire.
they announced Luigi was coming out, they had a thing where Mario just started calling out Luigi.
That's
Luigi!
pretty cool. There's a bit of
Yeah,
thought
it's very
going
cool.
there.
I just don't like the look of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. My number 9 game is from 2015. I've got some of it in front of me right here. It is Lego Dimensions.
Yeah.
So Lego Dimensions is very cool.
I bought the DeLorean.
But, so it came out 2015 for PS4, PS3, Xbox One, 360, Wii U. Came out on pretty much everything at the time. And it was the last entry into this whole Toys to Life thing. Unfortunately, it came in at too late.
Yeah.
Toys to Life was already on the way out. So Lego Dimensions was only around for like 2 years.
Really? Is that it?
Yeah, it was only like 2 years.
So I remember buying the DeLorean pack the day before I went to Japan for the first time.
I think it's really, really cool. It does suffer a little bit from the fact that it's Lego, which means it's pricey. So it was very pricey at launch to be able to try and sort of build up these sets. Not like the Skylanders and things like that were relatively on the cheaper side. The other and whatever Toys to Life, Disney Infinity,
yeah.
was also a little bit cheaper. Lego's kind of expensive just because it's Lego. It gets Lego tax. But it was really cool. You can play like the other Lego games.
Just to interject there, I read a report the other day that it's not a Lego tax. Lego makes 30% only because of all their licensing and all the fees and the construction. Because the plastic, the bricks that they made out are still really, really good. They're good quality.
They're very good quality.
So yeah, their profit margin is 30% on every set sold, which is why it's so high.
Imagine how much they would have made before they licensed in the 90s.
Oh, I know.
Or late 90s. But yeah, it plays like other Lego games, so you can have co-op, linear levels, little collectathons. There's things that you run around in each level and do. It added that Skylanders and Disney Infinity element with all these little characters that you can get and the vehicles, and you put them on this portal and it puts them into the game. And those vehicles, that you can unlock different modes for them, and you actually sit there and physically change the Lego kits to represent them.
Didn't they also make it that in order to build some of the sets, you needed the instruction booklets were
the instruction booklets
in there?
The vehicle instruction booklets are in the game, so you have to have the game to be able to build it. The little booklets just come with the figure instructions on how to put the figure together, and the vehicles come as a part of the level. So you have to play through the level to be able to get the instructions to build the vehicle to then be able to use it.
It's cool.
It is really cool.
Also,
they also had level packs and figures that would add to the base game, so it kept making the game bigger and bigger and bigger, which is cool because it is Lego, and you can add Lego to any Lego. So the fact that they never were going to end it, they were just going to keep adding to it, I think is kind of cool in that same like vein of just Lego normally.
It's actually disappointing that it ended the way it did.
It is. But it was at that time when Toys Life was just ending anyway. Do you know how many licenses they got here? Like they got like 30.
Wow.
Adventure Time, A-Team, Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, DC, Doctor Who, E.T.,
Ghostbusters,
Fantastic Beasts, Ghostbusters, old and new, so 2016 and original.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Goonies, Gremlins, Harry Potter, Jurassic World, Knight Rider, Lego Chima, which is meh, Lego Batman, Lego City.
He's got a Defender machine in his background.
Yep.
Which you can also get the Lego of.
The Lego Movie, Lord of the Rings, Midway Arcade, one of your favourites. Mission Impossible, Ninjago, Portal, which was one of my... I thought was really cool. I've got the Portal figures down here somewhere.
That was a triumph.
Powerpuff Girls, Scooby-Doo, Simpsons, Sonic, Teen Titans, and The Wizard of Oz. There was just everything. Because they already owned the rights, so I think most of them, all licenses to most of them.
Well, you might as well get... They do get the most out of their licenses. I will give them that.
Apart from the fact that it was pricey, it was really cool. And yeah, just hard to get now. It sucks. But that was my number 9. Number 8 is Lego Batman 2. This is from 2012. That is that one down there. It was on the 360, PS3, Vita, DS, Wii, and 3DS and PC. Cool thing about these things is they could put them on everything because they're quite simple.
Not graphically intense.
Yeah, right. So this was a unique story following Batman and Robin and Superman. So it wasn't taking on any of the movie aspects or anything, so they could do their own story.
The Batman Lego film is the best Lego film.
It is really cool.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. In this one, they're taking on Joker and Lex Luthor as Lex plans to sort of become the president of America. It was the first of the Traveller's Tales games to feature spoken dialogue. Before that, they did all the sort of mumbles and grunts.
Yeah, cool.
And I think it was the first one I played that had a hub world in between levels. So you could have puzzles and unlockable characters and stuff in the hub world as well, as just not just in the levels. It had a cast of playable characters that was huge because it like brings in Justice League and stuff. It was massive. That was really cool. A lot of fun, really funny writing as well in all of these. All the jokes and humour in there is like just always on point.
I just really love the Lego humour. Like in the Lego games, the Lego movies, it's very dry.
Yeah, it is.
It's great.
And it suits certain ones, which I'm going to touch on later, more than others as well. My number 7 top Lego game is Lego Battles, which I bet no one's played.
No.
And I think Anto would play this one. This is from 2009. It came out on Nintendo DS. It was made by Hellbent Games, so it was before Traveller Tales got them. It's based on Lego themes like pirates, space, and castle. It's separated into 3 stories, each with six 15-level quests, and they are playable as the protagonists or antagonists, which is very cool. So you can replayability. Unlike the current trend of Lego games, it's a real-time strategy game. It uses the DS's point-and-click feature, and similar to like build and defense spaces. So it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like Advanced Wars. Am I right? In Advanced Wars?
It looks similar.
Yeah, I haven't played Advanced Wars though. But I thought this one might take your fancy. But I liked it because it was just so different.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of like a tower defense game sort of thing.
That's cool.
Really cool, and one that not many people seem to know too much about.
Can honestly say I've never heard of it.
There you go. Number 6, I think Dylan the Villain might like this one because I think he said something about these ones earlier.
Patreon supporter Dylan the Villain in the chat there. This one's
mate.
for you, buddy.
Lego Island Deuce. Number 2. So this is from 2001, so one of the really early ones. It came out on PC, the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, Game Boy Advance.
This is an early one?
Yeah.
Wow, it looks really good.
2001, man. It was developed by Silkscreen Games. You played as a pizza delivery guy named Pepperoni. Yeah. And you had to save...
I hate him.
You had to save Lego Island from the Brickster, who is the bad guy that escaped from jail because you put him in jail in the first one. You get building on the islands can be restored by finding instruction pages along relatively linear levels, and you restore the island that he's destroyed. And there are also little mini games. And this game was the first Lego game that you could jump in.
Wow.
There you go. It introduced jumping
Something
into Lego
that
games.
only Mario perfected 30 years earlier.
I played the heck out of this as a kid.
It's good, isn't it?
When you said, because I haven't read the run sheet properly yet. just
like a true dude behind the keys.
As soon as you said the title of this, I was just like, what?
Nostalgia, kick back.
So good.
Dylan the villain says he hated the Brickster. That was his childhood. Yeah, there you go, Dylan. All yours, mate. That come in at my number 6. My number 5, so halfway through the list, is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. This is from 2011. Came out PS3, 360, DS, 3DS, Wii, PSP, PC, everything. It was the first Disney film that was made into a Lego because Disney didn't own Star Wars yet.
Oh, right.
The port is like the sort of what do they call it?
The port side.
Yeah, is like the hub, and it is awesome. The whole shipping port, I should say. And as you progress through the levels, it gets bigger and bigger and allows you access to different movies and things like that. I think it takes on the first 4 or 3 Pirates of the Caribbean.
Showed 4.
Showed 4
Yep.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It was the first one to introduce water to the scene where you can have underwater levels.
Oh, right. I was going to say,
yeah.
no, I'm pretty sure I've seen water before.
No, you've seen water before, but because of the whole dead pirates thing and skeletons being able to go underwater, it introduced that into the games. Before that, if you fell in the water, you died.
Right.
Or as you lost some coins and reappeared.
You'd never die.
You never die. I've forgotten where I was going now. Introduced water into series. So there were underwater levels, there were ship battles. Jack had a compass that you could then uncover sort of secret items by following his compass, which was a new little gameplay element that's been introduced into a few other ones now as well. Developers did a great job of animating Jack's walk. So you know how he's got that when he's on the land, he walks with that swagger?
Yeah, that drunken
So
stupor.
have you ever noticed he does not do that when he's on a ship? He only ever does it on land.
Don't know.
I read a theory about that.
Because he's land legs. He's just so used to being on the water and
Yeah,
constantly moving.
but you never notice it. And then when you
Good
notice
character
it,
detail.
yeah, it's really good. But they've animated it perfectly in these games. Like, it's hilarious. And they've sped it up just a little bit to make it comical. It's so good. But once again, the humor in this is just on point. Like, it's just so good slapstick but dry humor. But yeah, number 5. Play it. If you like Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, it's better than the later movies. Number 4, and a little bit higher than some people might have put it, is Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. No, just as a disclaimer, I haven't got the new Star Wars one on there because I haven't finished it.
Fair enough.
So it didn't make this list yet. So this came out 2007 for the PS3, 360, everything on the day. Star Wars was the first license that Lego owned.
Oh, really? Oh, of course, because they bought out the Qui-Gon and Darth Maul pack
the late
where they
90s.
were still yellow faces.
Yeah. So it was the first licensed Lego
That
that
Darth
they had
Vader looks
in
awful.
the 90s, late 90s. That Darth Vader did look awful. This game combines the prequel and the original games. So they were originally released separately. There was an original trilogy and a prequel trilogy in the games. This one was the complete saga, came out on the PS3 with all of it. It was so cool. It had simple, varied combat, but you could block laser bolts with your lightsabers that you couldn't do in any of the other games. You couldn't block incoming fire and redirect it.
Right.
You can now do that, so you can use their fire against the bad guys.
Nice.
Really cool. Has an insane amount of collectibles and like the little mini kits that you collect, which recreate all the ships from the trilogies. So much cool fun. 120 characters that you can unlock.
Oof.
120 people from the Star Wars universe, which is just a super huge amount of people. It's unreal. It's easy to see the amount of love and like respect that the developers put into this that they had for the franchise. Like, it's so good. It just worked so well. Love it. Little Easter eggs everywhere as well, like you were talking about before. My top 3. Number 3. Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures. So this follows Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. Not the other one. This came out in 2008.
There is no other one. I don't know what you're talking about. There's only three films.
It just makes the other ones better, mate. The Lego humour in this that you were talking about before, like being dry, works super well.
This is one that I have played. I have played the Indiana Jones ones on the Wii, I believe.
Yeah,
and I remember sitting there and laughing out loud at some of the interactions that they had.
It works really well because Harrison Ford, when he's Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford in general, just has that really dry, sort of stoic sense of humour.
Yep.
And so it works really well in this because the other characters will be like heaps crazy and he'll just sort of, and turn away. And it just makes for really good moments.
Reminds me of a sketch on David Letterman once where Harrison Ford was there. And he said, look, we'll take audience questions. You can ask me
Is
any
this about the
questions.
whip?
No, I don't want to have any Star Wars questions. Ask me about any of my other films. And someone stood up, asked a question. He replied, blah, blah, blah. And then the third, we'll get that guy there. And stood up, and it was a guy in a full Chewbacca suit. And he went, and he goes, that was a long time ago. He goes, where? He goes, because it was my wife, you son of a bitch.
I saw another one where someone stood up and asked him a full question about the length and the material of Indiana Jones's whip. And he says, and do you have anything to say about that? And Harrison Ford just sort of looked around and went, yeah, who gives a... It was great. Little moment. Lego Indiana Jones, really, really cool. You introduced the whip, which means you could swing across gaps. You could pull things closer to you, which you couldn't do before. Great soundtrack as well. Soundtrack from the movies, awesome. Number two in the top 10 list of Lego games you should play. Lego Jurassic World. Oh, I love this game. This game is awesome. So it's called Jurassic World, but it actually follows Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and only the first Jurassic World game.
Right.
Which is good, because the first three are incredibly...
Well, the first one.
They're all better than the newer ones.
I don't know.
They are.
The third one's pretty rubbish.
Yeah, okay, it is.
Talking raptors.
These came out in 2015 for just about every console that could hold a game. You can tackle the films in any order you wish from this one, so you can play whatever they want. Similar to the new Star Wars, you start in a hub world that lands you on a helicopter pad, and from that point you can go off to any of the islands, Isla Nublar or Isla, whatever the other ones are called. And they lead to separate hubs for those films. Which are really cool, and then you can go and then you obviously play them in a story linear levels from there on. Not only do you get to play an awesome amount of characters from the film, you get to manipulate genetics and create and play as your own dinosaurs.
Nice. So I can actually make a Deinonychus?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Sure. I don't know what that is.
It's what you think is a raptor.
Oh, you mean a raptor?
No, Deinonychus.
You get to be shirtless, Dr. Malcolm in this as well.
Sold. Absolutely 100% sold.
I love this game. I played this one with my younger kids last year, and we finished at 100%.
Oh, nice.
I do finish Lego games 100% because it's easy to do. They tell you exactly what you need and where it is.
That's one of the new Star Wars games. In order to 100%, you have to get different tasks ticked off.
Yeah.
But they let you buy them, buy what they are. So if it's like collect 4 hot dogs, but it's masked out until after you finish the level.
Oh,
or until
nice.
I think it's until you've got one of the things, then it'll pop up. Or you can, before you go on the level, just spend your Lego bits and buy that and cheat.
Nice. Now, before I go into...
I like games that respect your time and let you do what you want to do.
You can either just hunt for them or you can find out what it is. Before I go into the number one, there are some honourable mentions. Lego Races didn't make it on here, but Lego Races is a good lot of fun. Mm-hmm. For short periods of time, if you just want a quick race. Lego Races, kind of like the Micro Machines sort of stuff, or Mario Kart. There's Lego Incredibles, there's Lego Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
What about Lego Rock Raiders?
You know, I never played that one.
No?
Nah, but I saw someone had commented about it.
Game Boy Dad and Michael Towns have been going on about it all night in the Discord.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played that one. But yeah, there's just about every IP that you can think of that, you know, Disney or someone else owns. There's a Lego game for it.
So what's the number one game?
My number one game is the first Lego game that I played ever. It was on the PS2 in 2008, and it is the first Lego Batman. I love this game, and I played this game so many times. I can almost by memory remember it. Just like know where everything is, and every mini kit, every little puzzle, everything. It was super simple. So it was nowhere near as complex as the Lego games are today, even though they're not that complex. You only played as Batman and Robin. Once again, you can still do your switch between the characters. You can play drop in, drop out with your second player. But instead of collecting other characters for the abilities, you collected different Bat suits and Robin suits. So you might have like an ice suit or a tech suit or a gliding suit or a sonar suit. And there would be different parts throughout the levels, like Robin just built then, that you would go in to change your suit for whatever it is that you needed at that point in time. It was also one that you could play as the protagonist and the antagonists.
Nice.
So once you finished a level, you could go back and play it as the antagonists and from like the other point of view. which I thought was great and did it a bunch of times. It was kind of like the Dark Batman, but it lent into the 60s camp with the kapows and the bamfs and stuff like that.
Shark repellent bat spray.
Shark repellent bat spray. An original story, great level design, cool collectibles. Just, it has got so many good memories for me, which is why it's my number one.
Anto?
I was just going to say, it's interesting that Lego Batman got a DVD video game and not just console releases.
One thing I forgot to mention as well when we were talking about the new Lego Star Wars game.
Yep.
There's been a glitch. So Star Wars, the new Skywalker Saga, you can have you and one other player that you switch between.
Yep.
Someone's found a glitch where if you have Mando on your team, Grogu comes up as automatically, but it doesn't count as a person, but you can switch Grogu out.
Ooh.
But then Grogu, because he has to be there with Mando, respawns.
So
And you can have as many as you like. There's people who have built armies.
That's awesome.
Like,
I can't wait to try that.
Well, it's not how the game was. It's an exploit,
Yeah.
so there's a good chance of it
It'll be
patched
patched.
out.
So what you're saying is don't update the game.
Yeah, basically.
I think I'm going to say one of my favorite things about, and one of the reasons I love these games is that you can play them on your own. You can play them co-op, but you don't need to start a new game to do it. You can just be playing on your own, and there's always multiple characters that you yourself switch between that have different abilities. And another person can just come along, pick up a controller, drop in, take over one of these characters, play along. Either one of you can just drop out and leave at any time, and it doesn't interrupt the flow of the game at all. It's so good.
We've been Hack the Dino. This has been our gaming cast where we bring you the past, present, and future of video game news. We hope you've had a wonderful time devouring our words with your ears or perhaps eating us with your eyes. Floppy, this
Yes, mate?
isn't all we do.
It's not all we do.
Where else can people catch us like the proverbial surfer on the World Wide website catching
mean-
some gnarly keys?
Us or me in particular?
Well, you.
Me, you can find me on Instagram. I haven't been much over there in the last 2 weeks since the last show, but I tend to post pictures of things, games, pickups that I've had, things that I'm playing and enjoying at the time. I haven't updated it for probably about a week or so sorry about that. I'll get onto that.
Just go back and look at his old photos. Remember the classic times.
Do that. There's some good ones on there.
Anto?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
I got Kirby.
Yeah, well, what do you get up to with your bad self?
With my bad self, kind of the same thing as Floppy. I occasionally put stuff up on Instagram. I also deal with the socials for Hack the Dino when I'm not sleep deprived, which Ben has been doing a fantastic job filling in while I've been dying.
Oh, shucks.
You do some streaming too. You do a lot more streaming than I do.
I do a little bit of streaming sometimes when I'm motivated, not dying of lack of sleep, and
God, streaming
working.
takes so much out of you.
It does.
Like, people think it's fun. It's not fun. Like, it just...
I like it. I just talk.
Yeah.
I like talking.
But yeah, no, there's actually... I've got a plan, and I'm going to maybe request / force our Discord people to partake in this a little bit.
Oh.
I've got a fairly vast collection of completely legally obtained Nintendo stuff.
Backing up your system,
backed
you had
up-
to leave over in
Yeah,
the
I
home.
backed
Yeah.
up my English collection of Nintendo stuff, which
'Cause it's
contains
too big.
everything from the GameCube to the NES.
Yep. Good collection.
If anyone wants to see me stream anything in particular, something I haven't played, just to see, the reaction to it, I guess. Or if you just want to see me play something I'm good at, like Sonic Adventure 2 or other stuff.
I want you to stream
Let me know.
Time Cop on the NES.
Time Cop?
Time
Hell yeah.
Cop on the NES.
Is that like the Van Damme film, Time Cop?
No, Time Lord. Sorry, Time Lord. It's called Time Lord.
Star
Time
Wars Bounty
Cop would
Hunter
be cool.
seems to be the thing at the moment.
I've
Pardon?
got that game.
What was that?
Star Wars Bounty Hunter
I
seems
didn't
to
think
be
it
the
was as
thing.
bad a game as you guys
Do
are
you know
making it
what?
out.
That is I'm so dark that has become a massive thing because it's so rubbish. And Game Boy Dad was going to play it, and we were just trying to do him a favor, and then he played it anyway, and now he's tainted. It's such a bad game.
Is it?
Yeah, it
I didn't
is.
think it was that bad.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't
real
think it was
bad.
terrible either, but
Oh well. You can see things that I purchase over at Mr. Benjamin, or you can head on over to Bad Game Arts, where I put up some of the worst art you can possibly find in video game history. We're just looking at my at Mr. Benjamin page now with all my pickups. It's basically an insurance record.
Can you go up, or an insurance record, or a shopping list for thieves? Can you go up to the one that had Ben looking really surprised at something? What was that? Oh, the comic from
So
Sean.
we can
Sean's
see.
place?
I went to a friend of the show, Sean Fuster's place over the weekend and went a bit of a video game
Look
hunt
at
with
you
him.
two, the little bromance staring lovingly into each other's eyes.
And he has every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man from number 3 onwards. Now, the very first issue of first appearance of Green Goblin was in Amazing Spider-Man 14, and you can see a photo of me actually holding it there. There was a video of him giving it to me so I could hold it. It's a comic I never thought I actually would hold. My hands were shaking. I was freaking out about it. And then, the second picture is after we went hunting, and he got his collection out and said, go for it. And I just sat there like a freaking 10-year-old going through them and
licking his fingers.
Yep, just enjoying all of it. So that was a fun time. But over at Bad Game Arts, I put up some of the worst game art from the 90s. I haven't put up any this week, actually. It's a little bit bad, but what does it matter? Anto's, I don't know where you're going, Anto.
I'm trying to find it. It's just not showing up.
Instagram.com, Bad Game Arts with an S at the end, because Bad Game Art was taken. Instagram.com/Bad Game Arts. I should put that on hackthedino.com as well, in case people want to find it.
There's one thing I'm going to bring up as well in a minute.
So if we're scrolling down, we can see there.
What is that one?
Which one? The one
in the middle.
The crab anus? We talked about that last week.
Maisie Axe.
Oh, I just do, yeah.
Anyway, I haven't put any up. I do have some more coming up.
Rescue on Fractalis.
I've also got a Bad Game Arts TikTok that I've put up where I eventually put up just things every now and then because fun.
I've got one other thing that I'd like to show our lovely guys before we take off.
Yep.
I did make a purchase this week. Now I haven't put it on my Instagram because I'm too ashamed.
Oh, good.
But I did put it into our Dino chat.
Oh, was that the studded G-string?
Yeah, no, that was in the private one.
Oh, sorry.
That was the edible one. Right. I heard about a game. Game Boy Dad is going to love this. That has been discontinued. Now I have panned this game to no end.
Oh, I know what this is.
And I heard it was discontinued, and the curiosity got the better of me, and I picked up the last copy I could find. Anto, would you like to pick up the photo of my latest pickup? Put up the photo. I bought Fast and Furious Crossroads. I bought it because it's been discontinued and it is no longer in production. And I'm just curious as to see what happens with it.
And as I said, it's actually going to, in 5-10 years, it will go for money.
It'll be worth a lot. Like, the Fast and Furious franchise isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I will just like to say, I'm not playing it because I played it once and I'm not getting that time back.
And you can't get your time back either because you've just listened to us talk about games for an hour or so. So
2 hours.
Hopefully your time investment was useful and you enjoyed it, and you can now use that time that you could have put and got interest on.
Go play Lego games. Go play Lego games.
And go retro hunting.
Yes, buy old games too.
Be one with the retro.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Just be nice to people.
If you can't be nice, be...
Batman. Always be Batman.
I was trying to think of another joke. Anto's just keeping this going.